Yeah, you know you've spoken well when they clap for you without being told. I'm happy to have him as my brother, as my young brother. And yes, so this is me. Yeah, I needed your attention. So I said my name is Martin Chomba. Who is Martin Chomba? Martin Chomba is a village boy born and bred in Kirinyaga, in the village, in a place called Kangaita, huko kwa Majani Chai. Some of you are aware. Hata sisemi ni kina nani. When you see everybody looking all cute here, some of them come from my village. And they are like, they were raised like me, so we are no different. Vile tu wameng'ara na certitude. Ni pia ni mtu wa mlima. Si mmesikia hapo kwa kung'ara? Wameng'ara. Watu ya mlima wanaongeaga na hivi. So other than that, I am in petroleum industry. That is my main hustle, as they say. I am a petroleum distributor. I run a distribution leasing company of petroleum. I also am proprietor of a petrol station on Thika Sagana Highway. There is a petrol station hapo inaitwa Promise. It's a stopover. There's a place there when you guys are on your road trips. You can have a stopover and grab a cup of coffee, play a game of pool, watch some sports, and enjoy yourself. Other than that, I am also the national chairman of an association that brings together every other petrol station that you see in the country under one umbrella. Before I came here, I was just in a meeting that I had to exit early with some government authorities discussing issues of taxation and such for the petroleum industry. And that is what I do now on a national scale. And it's a very exciting space, and it has been formed by the belief that we also can contribute something into the economy of this country. I was once a very timid person, and by timid I mean having been brought up in those spaces out there. I didn't know that our lights, people who come from the village, can have something to offer to the national space, because my idea was that people who speak and people who do things that are big are people who come from the city. And you know, I'm the kind of a person who believed that Nairobi is KICC and Uhuru Park. I know those you guys were not born those days. We used to watch something called a television network called VOA. I mean VOK, Voice of Kenya, before KBC. And so those days we used to hear taarifa ya habari mkisomewa na Hamisi Temo or somebody like that, and they say leo mtukufu rais. Akisema mtukufu rais, the picture that would come would be of that of KICC, ama parliament. So for those of us who are in the village, believed that is what Nairobi is. So until I went to Nairobi, and I went to Kibera, and went to Riruta, and then here I said, man, kumbe hata nyumbani saa ingine ni kuzuri. I schooled in a school called Kamweru High School, and I schooled with these young people that used to ati wametoka Nairobi, and wanaongea Sheng, and we would just be sitting there, unafanya tu hivi. You don't know what they are saying, but it's flowing, it's flowing. It's a way unasikia ina flow very nicely. You don't understand what they are saying. And I come to Nairobi, and then I start meeting them after some time. Now akina Tyson, ati jamaa ametoka Karori, banana. You know banana, anasema ni wa Nairobi. I don't know. You know those places. Mwingine ametoka sijui wapi, the other side, lakini wote wanasema ni wa Nairobi. Na walikuwa hatuwezi hata meza mate because vile wanatoka Nairobi. But we thank God, because for one reason or the other, God gave us opportunity and the fortitude to believe and brave all the circumstances out there to make sure that we become something in that city. So I am giving you this story so that you can reason it with where you are. So Kamwiru mimi nilisoma na bursary. I always give that story. My head teacher, he was called Mr. Koigi, And the other guy, the deputy, was the current owner of Good Shepherd, Mr. Mogo. He was our deputy then. And because I was good in biology, my head teacher did not want me missing school. Every time we met nyumbani, nalipiwa. Then I come to the city, and I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. And yes, I wanted to go back to school, I wanted to continue, but we didn't have money. So I started selling mafuta ya vikombe huko Kibera. So those of you who know the wale wametoka hii side, you may know Kibera, Mukuru, Mkorogen, Mkwajenga, Kangemi, all those places. Up until I grew up the business consistently. Mali hao walikuwa wanakuja wakiwa wadogo, wanamaliza shule, nao wanaenda kwa mdada yao Nairobi. Friend, tunaona hivi ya drum, but bado tuko Nairobi. And that's the beauty of being young. You can start, you can do what you need to do now. That is the beauty of being young. And so I climbed the ladder amidst a lot of problems, a lot of issues, setbacks, but I was very resilient. And I started now the business that I do. Way back now, from 1998, I was doing very informal businesses. But from 2002, I started becoming formal. In 2006, I registered a company, and now I do what I do since then. Other than that, I harbored a dream to go back to school. And so, when I was doing all this, I was very fond of picking young people, especially people that I don't know. Nachukua na mtu mwenye anataka kwenda shule, and I would take them back to school, and a lot of them wakasoma. And then I developed the urge to go back to school, and back in 2016, I went back to the university to do my undergraduate. I do my undergraduate at USIU in international relations, diplomacy, peace and conflict. I am an old person. I think I was 30 what? I must have been around 30. 2016, I was almost 39, 38 there. And so, yes, I'm that old. Yes, 2016 I was 39. So you can do your maths. So I'm doing my undergraduate, and in 2019 I do very well, and I pass in the USIU. When you are among the top of the institution, these are trips that they offer people to go represent the university in Harvard School. They call them UN models, and because I was in international relations, that's how I got that chance. I went there, did my thing, came back, graduated with what they call cum laude. You've heard of that? Cum laude. Cum laude is a word, it is there. I assure you, cum laude is a version of the American system. That is what they use. When here you say first class, second class, all that. There they say laude, cum laude, sum cum laude, depending on the grading. So, and I graduate and I go back to school. I do my master's. And 2021, I am done with my master's. I wanted to get back to my PhD. Around the same time, our mother became a bit sick, and when you're taking care of somebody who is sick, sometimes your mind goes off, up until 2023 when she rested. And now I am back this September to start my PhD program. I wanted now to give you that story so that you can understand who is speaking to you. It's not somebody who is coming to you from a very lofty place. I don't want you to think the way I used to think whenever I see somebody speak on TV or giving lectures or speaking to people. I don't want, these are not the motivation stories where they say they started their farm with one maize cob. No, it's not that kind of a motivation. I am talking about reality, and I'm talking about real stories, because I know a lot of you, if not all of you, but most of you, have come from a place where you have faced challenges, isn't it? Challenges where you feel like you know what you want, you know what you can do, you have the energy, but you don't have the space, isn't it? And that was my story. And it's still my story. That will never end. At every time you always be thinking, if only, if only. But I want to tell you that the best way to take life is to have to make do with what you have right now. Even in the Bible, and the speakers before me have referenced the Bible quite a bit. They talk about Moses being asked by God, what is in your hand? Isn't it? That is the big question. And to those who have tried to make and sponsor in this school, I am trying to give you what is in your hand. That is my desire, that you'll have something in your hand that God can use to amplify and make your way. You use that stick to make your way. And so, I want to give you a history of an evolution. I am a student of arts, as you spoke, social science. And my specific specialization right now, my PhD program is now development studies. And when you're doing development studies, you seek to understand how things became, how economies became, how civilizations became. And so, I will not go very far. I want to start about some few years ago. There was an revolution that was called the Agrarian Revolution. Are you listening to me? Are we together? I don't want this to be like double physics lesson in the afternoon. You know how that used to be, right? No. But I need you to understand because this is critical for where we are going. So, the Agrarian Revolution was what ushered people from the hunters and gatherers. That is what we used to be the way of life, hunting and gathering. And as such, all men knew was to take crude things, stones and sticks, to go and kaloba a guinea pig and take home and they eat and that's it. But then, as time moved, we discovered another revolution that now ushered some mechanized farming. After the Agrarian Revolution, the normal Agrarian Revolution, where people started doing the farming, the normal ways of making sure that hapa ndo naweka skuma, hapa ndo naweka mahindi. Then they started now the mechanized farming. And then people were able now to do, they were able to travel, they were able to create, to do railroads and all those kind of things. And life was still becoming easier. And you realize that most of the people that are the families, that is where a lot of people and families started taking trajectories. And some of the families that we have, the richest families in the world today, you trace their riches from such revolutions. You realize that there are people, when you talk about the kind of Rockefeller families, Colgate families, they come from the patriarchs and the matriarchs of their families understood what was happening. And they started industries that were centered around those things. Okay? So after the Industrial Revolution, what other revolution have we come to? Easy one, even if you have to Google. Crisis. Yeah? The temperature increases or decreases? It decreases. Yeah? We must be interactive. We must be interactive. Agrarian Revolution, Industrial Revolution, what other revolution came? Just Google. Digital Revolution. Digital Revolution came in the, what you call it, in the Industrial Revolution was in the 16th century. Digital Revolution now came in the mid-19th century, thereabout. And from around 1940 to around 2000, we've had what we used to call the Digital Revolution. And the Digital Revolution is a series of activities that have come together to make things easy. And this came with the introduction of things like microchip, discovery of things like microchip, where now we are able to aggregate things, and we are able to store things, and we are able to compute. You know, those of you who have done the histories of computer and all this, you know there are times a computer used to be as big as this room, and actually the people used to go and inside a computer change a wire like this and in those days. And then we've come all the way to where we are today, and we have gotten from 2000 into what revolution? So when you googled when you googled the type of revolution, hujagugu bado. You know, niliona umeshika simu hivyo. I want us to be I want you to read me that from agrarian revolutions, how many revolutions we are towards, and the last one will be, we'll get up to where we'll have something we call brain consciousness, consciousness and brain computer interface, because that is coming in the future, where your brain will be able to command machines as you think. When you're seated here, you have an interface with that laptop, and your brain, you don't need to go to that. That time is coming, where you'll be able to command machines with your brain. So after the digital revolution, nani amefika kwa hiyo ingine? The green revolution about energy. So that is a side one, but we are in what you call the AI revolution right now, and that is from the year 2000 coming up, and there is a lot of development towards AI revolution, and AI is riding on, each revolution is riding on the previous revolution. So AI, there is no AI revolution without digital revolution, and that's why we are here today. I want to put it to you today, and your director will confirm this. The richest people in the world today, among the top 10 richest people in the world today, they are in which revolution? Their wealth is built on which revolution? Digital revolution. The top 10 people. Talk about Elon Musk, what they are doing. Talk about Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. Who else? Yeah? Bill Gates. Those people, they are in this digital revolution. They took advantage of digital revolution when it was starting, and they start every time they have been on the cutting edge of technology in that revolution. And that is what has kept them going. Kept them going. Today as we speak, you think that you set the agenda. You don't. An agenda and the things that you discuss and the things that you think are set elsewhere, including the interfaces that you're using. So you'll find somebody somewhere being very aggressive about how they are able to do what to do. But the thing is, you are doing on somebody's platform. There's a day, some Kenyans on Twitter, unatujua? Unajua hata vile saa hii tumevamia watu wengine majirani zetu. The Kenyans on Twitter, ni sisi ni wakali. But there's a time we were very aggressive against a certain leader in a far off country, and that leader made a very demoralizing statement, but a very true statement to us, and he said, "Hey, you guys are abusing me on a system and a platform that is made in my country. He can just switch off." Have you ever been removed in a WhatsApp group? Wakati umetusiwa, you are replying. Has it ever happened to you? You feel like lazima nikwambie kitu, when you did then umejikuta umeblokiwa ama. That's the thing. Sisi ni wakali sana, but the truth of the matter is, those guys can make our continent dark. Because even the internet that you're using Ukiulizwa internet ni nini zaidi, unaweza sema ni nini? A lot of people cannot tell you what internet is. Hata nimeona saa hii ndio umefikiria by the way. By the way, what is this? Hiyo kitu unaitaga internet ni nini? Where is it manufactured? Mwenye anakuuzia inatokaga wapi? You know, majani chai, when you go to the kwa duka kununua majani chai, you can trace ama mchele ilifanywa Mwea, ikapelekwa Nice, ikapelekwa kwa duka na ukaipata. Internet inatokaga wapi? You see, where you are, matters concerning internet, you have no difference with my son who told me money comes from the bank. Kamuuliza pesa inatokaga wapi, ndio ifike kwa bank, akaniangalia blank. So na wewe unatumia internet, but you have no idea where internet comes from. True or false? Si ni ukweli? That's why we are here. I want to show you that there are so many things that are out there. We are very mechanical in the way we do things. Ni kama gari. Unaendesha tu gari, umeingia kwa gari, hiyo simu yako you just want kufinya app. Ukifinya app uko chini ya hiyo app, you have no idea. Utasema tu imehang. Ukiambiwa na mtu explain hiyo kuhang, unasema tu ina nini hivi hapa hivi kwa screen. Somehow Kenyans we are able to communicate that. Hata mwenye unaambia ataelewa. Pia tuko hivyo. Ndio. So, but when we are young, you have a full slate ahead of you. And I want to talk to you today about opportunities that you can have, follow up, and become something. Today, in my industry, in petroleum industry, I have done that since 1998. Never mind that in 1998 nilikuwa nauza ya kupima na chupa. But I was still in the same industry. Today, I transport, kuna magari mnaona zimeandikwa Danger Petroleum, si mnaona? I am part of that thing. Kuna mahali naingilia tu hapo katikati kwa hizo vitu. So, in the same industry, but very consistent, I've become a voice in the industry, such that when a policy is being made, I'll find that they have written to me that, sir, we would wish to have your input on this. We are trying to develop this regulation, we are trying to develop this thing, we would wish to have your input. Why are they doing that? Because I am an expert in the industry. But the expertise has been born out of consistency. I've been that since 1980 to date is almost 30 years. It will be 30 years in 3 years, isn't it? That is 27 years. A lot of you were not born then. But believe you me, there was a year called 1998. And in that year, I was in Nairobi selling. Yeah, you know, you may think his stories are just. It was. So, now this industry, I've told you that Akina Mark Zuckerberg took advantage of the onset of the digital space when it was forming, and they started running towards that direction. And that is why they are who they are today. Today in this economy, unaona sasa hii, kwa hii economy tunasema hakuna pesa. First of all, we must agree, and I tell people, there's something I cannot agree with you, that hakuna pesa. The truth of the matter is, kuna pesa, ni mahali iko hatujui. Si ni kweli? Because sijaona until mtanionyesha ile siku moja pesa ililetwa mahali kama hapa yote ikachomwa, then I will understand hakuna pesa. When that has not happened, the truth of the matter is bado pesa iko, ni vile tu tunapitana nayo kama vile unapitana magari kwa highway. Ukienda Thika na ule anaenda Nairobi, wewe uko hii side nayo pesa iko the other side. Your assignment is to make sure that uko ile side pesa inaenda, mnapelekana. But a lot of time, most of us, we are on the other side of the highway. Pesa hii unaiona. Si hata ukiwa kwa matatu unashikaga ngiri. Ukipewa na huyu mtu wako nyuma upee conductor. Si huwa ina happen. So pesa bado iko. Huyo mtu uko naye hapo naye. Wewe ndio hauna. So your question here is, how do you position yourself to be a magnet of money? Why? Because one of the most truthful statement you'll ever hear is this one I'm telling you here. That money has a way of running away from you the minute it realizes you're chasing it. Think about it. Otherwise, people will be very rich.
We are chasing that money.
Yes. Once you're chasing, the minute the money realizes you're chasing after it, it will always run away from you. But money has a way of running towards people who creates value. Money follows value. Always. Wengine huko watakudanganya, but I'm telling you the truth. Money follows value. Always. You create value, money follows you. My idea of business is making 5 million people in Nairobi pay me 10 shillings a day without me necessarily having to kill them. You just make a way of them give you that 10 shillings voluntarily. The only way they will give you that 10 shillings voluntarily is when you create value that attracts that money. Are we together?
Yes.
Tunaelewana? Yes. The person who discovered this, the likes of Thomas Edison, they are super billionaires today. But they were not looking for money when they were doing this. They were looking for a way of creating and doing light. Solving a problem of humanity. Kulikuwa tuna giza, and they were looking for a way of creating light. And when they succeeded in doing this, it became a $1 billion industry. The person who discovered telephone was not looking for money. That person was just looking for a way of communicating with people, somebody who is on the other side very easily with the other guy on this other side. And the story goes that the first person he was testing that system with was his girlfriend, who was called Hello. And that's why most of you are always calling somebody else's girlfriend. Hello? Hello? When you answer in the phone. How many of you know what that hello came from or what it means? Hello? Hello? But in real sense, what it is. So, this person who was speaking to that friend, to that girlfriend, was not looking at the likes of Gugiriemo. I think one called Gugiriemo Makomi. That was my history from Gugiriemo. I can't remember very well. I think Gugiriemo Makomi or somebody. Discovering the telephony, not the mobile telephony. Discovering the art of speaking to somebody on the other side. Their theme was not looking for money. But when they did that, they created a $1 billion industry called telephony, mobile telephony, fax, CP word, all those things. And today it's a serious issue. The people who did the car, the vehicle, they were not looking for money, they were looking for a way to move from here to point B very fast. The same thing with the Wright brothers, the guys who are doing the airplanes. They were looking for a way of moving from one point to the other. What am I saying? The day they created value, money followed them. That is what Safaricom did. Safaricom today, if they closed shop today, and tomorrow they say, for somebody to continue enjoying the services that you were enjoying yesterday from Safaricom, you'll need to pay 5,000. Everybody will look for 5,000 and pay. Everybody. I'm talking about everybody who is using that service today. If they say we are closing shops tomorrow, and for you to continue with that service, you pay 5,000. People will pay. Why? Because they have created so much value that you cannot do without it. Sasa wewe. That is what we want you to do in this school. And how do you create value? By knowledge. The people who have made it in life and the people who have not made it in life have only one difference. The people who are rich today or who are doing well, they know something that the poor do not know. And the chances are the poor do not care to know. It is that simple. Unajua watu wanataka kuambiwa ukweli, especially na huku watasema ni maringo. That person that is doing better than you in life, just look around them, you'll see. Other than them having a rich uncle, they know something that you don't know. And the best thing you can do is to make sure that you align yourself with those people. When I was growing up, I had a discussion between my grandfather and somebody, and they were saying something, and I remember I was very young, and was talking about 3 people. I don't know whether I'll remember all of them, that you always must keep company of. They were saying, somebody who is richer than you. Unaona mtu mwenye akona dogo kuliko, mtu mwenye akona kakitu kuliko, make that person your friend. Usikue mtu wa kusema ati sijui, you know we have a way of kusema ati ni mtu ni wa Illuminati. Na ukiulizwa Illuminati ni nini hata uwezi explain. Hata spelling yenyewe itakukanganya. Pia pia uandike. And I put it to you, Pastor Dan ameenda. People don't, they do not refuse to worship the devil because they are good Christians. It's because they don't know how it would be done. If they knew for sure, they something they call the devil in Thika. Na anapeana million. Line itafika town, Nairobi. Ya watu wamepanga line hivo. Those who are calling themselves Christians. This is the truth of the matter. People have a way of dismissing you when you're doing something good. They say, huyu hata ni Illuminati, ni the worshiper. But it's a way of detaching, and this is the curse of the African. We don't appreciate greatness. We don't appreciate somebody who is doing better than you. You get? And these people who are doing better than you, they know something that you don't know. By you being next to them, you have a better chance of doing better. So that is one person. The other person is somebody who knows things. Somebody who knows something that you don't know. Always be next to that person. Somebody who, the minute you ever find yourself that in your group of 5 people, wendo unajua kila kitu, you are done. Even here, if you realize that the people you are with, wendo unaelewa kila kitu, as in, hakuna mtu mwingine anaweza kushinda na nini, whatever the topic it is that you are discussing, wendo baba yao, boss, you are done. You must always have somebody who knows something that you don't know. And the other person is a person who is connected. Kuna watu tu wanajua. I don't know, unaona hapa mmekaa hivi, you will say you want to do something and you're looking for somebody, sijui nani anajua sijui nani. Kuna watu tu somehow anakuambia si hata tupigie nani. Pigie nani, and before you know it, hiyo kitu imefanyika. You get? Those people, don't be those people wenye, you know, in Kikuyu. How many of you understand Kikuyu here? By a show of hand. There's a saying that says, hitiere kenyiria. How much you Kikuyu muna understand? Kikuyu ni muna understand aterere ni kwa egamuno. That's okay. There's a saying that says, hiti kenyiria denoraga. Loosely translated to me, it's nausea. Kenyiria is nausea. That is choosy. That when a hyena is very choosy, it will never grow big. It will never grow fast because ikipata hii haikuli, ikipata ile hizi nzuri. There are people, when it comes to knowledge, make sure you don't get nauseated with knowledge. This phone of mine is the most expensive gadget I own, and I'll always make sure I buy a higher one. This is 16 Pro Max. There's a reason why I do that. Because all the things that I do, I like information. I consult for VOA. See, mnajua Voice of America. I consult for CBNC Africa on issues to do with geopolitics and all that. I want to be on top of the world. I can tell you today, yesterday, Israel threatened to strike Iran in their nuclear sites. That comes with a lot of geopolitical tensions. Bei ya mafuta inaanza kwenda juu. From this morning today, inaanza kwenda juu out there before it comes here. To get this information, I must stay with people, apps, groupings that are tech savvy, that understand and appreciate this. That is what will give me cutting edge information to make sure that I'm relevant. Such that if right now I'm faced with a camera from those media houses asking me, what do you think? I have something to say. Are we together? Na nini sasa mko mahali mumepewa opportunity ya digital world. Please, whatever you do, you know, in this group director, I'll tell you this. There's somebody here, I don't know who, and if they are in the making, but there's somebody here who will be a multi-millionaire because of this idea. The question is, who are you? Do you even know it? Do you even know it? An omelette is as good as what you put in it. If you want your omelette to taste like onions, you do what? You put onions. When you want an omelette to taste like tomatoes, you put tomatoes. Today you have a chance. A chance some of us did not have. We had to wade through. You have a chance to make sure. I'm not even telling you usome no whether for you to go and get employed. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you usome so that unaweza jisimamia. So I come to the core of the information here. Today the richest people in the country. I don't know how many of you have TikTok accounts. Ni wangapi wako na TikTok accounts? Sitakuuliza personal question. It's okay. Let me just know. You don't have one? You have a TikTok account. So again, how many have TikTok accounts? Where are you? Welcome to the world. So if you go, there's a page. I don't remember that gentleman, but I like watching him quite a bit. Anasimama mahali pale Lavington na Kilimani, and what he does, he shows people the best cars in the country, driven by those celebrities. Have you come across such a page? Yeah. Anyone have come across such a page? Yeah. Now, that is what I want us to talk about. There is one common denominator with all these people driving those cars. All of them are in between the ages of 18 years and 45 years. All of them. Hautapata mtu wa 60 years wa hiyo group. And all of them have this one thing in common. They are people who are living and appreciating this age. Most of these people are involved in the digital economy. In the digital economy, there is something we call gig economy. How many of you know what gig economy is? Do you know what gig economy is? So today, after COVID, people realize that they waste a lot of time going to the office and back, doing things that can be done away from the office. And COVID birthed a new revolution. And this revolution is a revolution of people changing the way they work. They do, you know, kitambo, there used to be even something you clock. A place you clock, at umekuja saa 5, umetoka saa ngapi, and so they had created systems that would even bill you the time that you have not come and in a deduct kwa salary. But then the workers, the employers have realized that I just need to give you a task. You are my HR manager. I don't need you to be present in the place. I just need you to be available to complete a task. If you are doing an evaluation for all of these guys, and this is supposed to be done today, they categorize it actually in hours and say you are doing 5 guys. 5 guys is 10 hours. It doesn't matter whether you do it in 15 hours or you do it in 2 hours, you'll be paid for 10 hours. It's for you to organize yourself. Whether we find usiku, we find mchana, that is your job. Now that is what the digital economy has brought. Online working, where people are in control of their time. It is about productivity as opposed to your presence. And so we have accountants. You sit, and that's why today you go to town and you find a lot of people and wanakunywa dawa jaba na laptop. They are working. And huyo mtu amekaa hapo for 3 hours, ameng'ang'ana, akimaliza 3 hours, closes the laptop, goes, sijui anaenda wapi, anaenda wherever. Then we have this other group of people. Utatembea na huku Buruburu, Kilimani, wapi, these good places, and utapata jamaa wengine wanashindaga na clocks. Anatokaga asubuhi, anaenda ananunua mkate na mayai, anarudi kwa nyumba. Then lunch hour, unaona mtu wa Glovo amekuja amemletea pizza. Jioni sijui all they do, they sit in that house. Akitoka jioni kwenda kuwatch game mahali na friends, anatoka na the best of the cars that we have in the country. Why? They are working. Kuna wale watu tu nao the naysayers, na nimewaambia, you make sure you are not part of those people. Now watatoka waseme hiyo ni wash. Ukimuuliza wash ni nini, other than the spelling and pronunciation, they have no idea. Si ni kweli? Anawaambia hiyo ni wash, wanaosha pesa aje. Anakuwa hapo. Why? Because you have trained your mind to be a hater. And I tell people, don't hate that which you aspire to be. Don't. Hata ukikuta watu wakiongea vitu mbaya zinahusu somebody you would want to be like, don't join up in that conversation. Because your tongue makes what you say becomes. Are we together? Yes. So there's this economy, we are calling it digital economy, the gig economy. Right now, if you type on your phone, Upwork is a company. You'll go there and you log in, you register your details, and when you get in there, you'll find that there are a lot of work they are offering. They are asking for people to write things, for people to do websites, people to do jobs, so many jobs. And they say this job should be done by a person from Kenya or from Philippines or from, because different people have different, Kenyan people are liked by the people out there because of the English. Last November and December was in US registering a company. And when I was interacting with the people who do recruitment, they are telling me they like Kenyans. Why? Because even if you do a call center in Kenya, people answering calls on behalf of companies in the US. You know this is happening. Like the way you call Safaricom today, the person who answers you, you'll find that they are not here. You're being answered by somebody who is in Philippines. And they're doing that call for a Kenyan. So there are companies in the US and the UK and everywhere. We have a lot of BPOs, we call them business processes outsourcing. They are out there in places like Mombasa Road. We have quite a bit of them that are training on things like machine learning. We together on these things? Yes. They're doing outsourcing for those call centers. So the beauty, they like Kenyans. Why? Because it is easier to understand a Kenyan than it is to understand the English spoken by a Nigerian or an Indian or a Filipino or a Mexican. You get? Yeah. Our English is very easy to understand. And so Kenyans have serious opportunities when it comes to somebody in the US. She schedules his meeting, does the transcriptions, everything for that person. The only thing that she does is to make sure that when you guys are sleeping here, she's awake, because the boss is awake on the other side. So na yeye utamkuta amelala mchana. Sasa hata zile story tulikuwa nazo when you were young za kuambiwa ati lazima uamke 5. They are no longer making sense, because we are living in a very fast world where the issue is, are you productive? It's not about the time you woke up or the time you slept. It's about how productive you are. So this economy I was telling you, you log into a system, and there's one system I've developed, and at appropriate time you'll be part and parcel of it, so that we see whether you can get some opportunities there. You log into a system, and you register your credentials. Once you register your credentials and you are certified, then you are categorized as a worker, as a digital. You are certified as a digital worker, a person who is qualified to do something online. Once you get that certification, you are eligible now to access those jobs. So those jobs, they can pay you as low as 500 shilling to as high as hundreds of thousands. By hundreds of thousands, I mean you can $1,000, $2,000. There are jobs that are like that. So it is your skill set that allows you to do and access the jobs that you want to access. And this is where I am coming all along. You can only be useful in the digital economy if you take this seriously, this training seriously. If you take it seriously and improve yourself, do not be like what the campers call Kamin. You know Kamin? Unajua kamili? Wheelbarrow. In Kamba it's called kamili. So don't be that person where mahali uliachiwa hapo tu ndo utakutwa kesho. You know wheelbarrow mahali umeiweka until ukuje uichukue tena uipush another 2 miles. Alafu kesho utaikuta tu hapo. That is a student that I would not even want to be part of. This is what he's doing. He's showing you. Unajua zile umbwa zinaenda kutafuta nini huko msituni? Swara. They don't see that swara. Yona hiyo tu. Ni hapa amepita hapa. And then the next thing unazisikia na huko kilomita 2 zimeshika na huko. That is what should happen. These guys should just show you that this is the way to the digital economy. Then huyu ndio anakuwa anakuambia hebu tulia kidogo, mtihani tutafikisha hapa. Umeenda mbali sana. Are we together? Yes. Because as I said, an omelette is as good as what you put in it. If you push yourself, you'll be good. You'll get there. I want to give you a simple analogy, and I like using this because it's next to me and it is real. I have a 19-year-old who is turning 20 in December. He's a first-year medical student at University of Nairobi, doing Bachelor of Surgery and Medicine. That young man is called Mutugi. A while back, when I was joining the first year in the university, na yeye alikuwa class 5, we used to study together. And so when I joined, kuna mahesabu sijui LCM, sijui nini, najaribu kukumbuka LCM nini, na yeye ndo anasoma LCM. So tukifika home, akifanya homework yake na mimi nafanya yangu, he's the one actually showing me what's a GCD. You remember hizo vitu? I know, you just forgive me. I know most of you don't like remembering those things. And I'm sorry for it. Nitasema tu hivyo, don't take it to heart. LCM na GCB is something that used to be before you handle it. These are the things, complex issues like matrices. There's a mattress beyond ile ya kulalia. So when we are doing these things, I started telling my son about, we started watching programs called Mega Structures. I don't know how many of you, when you go to YouTube, you have seen those programs. Mega Structures and how things are made. Believe me, in YouTube, there are things which are bigger than cartoon. Sana cartoon. Because then we used to watch a certain cartoon. Kalikuwa kanakula lasagna. So we are watching things called mega structures, how things are made. And so we are watching engineers who makes bridges, who make mega structures in Europe, in Dubai, the way things are done in Dubai. And before long, we started talking about the future. And then you start realizing the young man is getting interested in these things quite a bit. We are watching how they make. We play football. Even yesterday night, I was playing football, and I'm a fan of Man United. Yes. There are only 2 teams in Europe: Man United and others. I don't know where you are. So, and we are watching, and Man United is losing as it rarely loses, you know. It happens sometimes that it loses, but rarely, yeah. And so the young man would cry, literally. Man U may lose, he would cry, kabisa. And I'm asking him why. He cannot understand, because when akiwa about 9 years is when Nani was living. About 7 years, Ferguson was living, and now Manu had won back-to-back all those times. So he grew up knowing Manu is the next big thing after Chips. And we loses, and he cries. And I'm telling him that is the way the world is. The world is competitive. So we started playing football with him, me and him. Remember, he's young. So every time me and him score, he cries. and then tunaenda kwa nyumba akilia. Namwambia that is the way the world is. So he develops this very competitive spirit, and is something that I really appreciate, and I would want us to have a competitive spirit. Why? Fast forward, 2023. I am 2019. He's in class 8. He's doing quite well, and he gets internal exams. He was getting. I think he still holds the record in the school that he was in for internal exams, because he had gotten about, I think, 470 something out of 500. But when the main exam came, the KCPE, how many of you know it has a way of doing funny tricks on you? Sino, wewe unajiaminia, lakini all of a sudden. So the boy got 419. Okay, 419, it was still a lot to other people. But for him, because of what he believed, it was still a flaw. He was called to join a national school, but he was not competing for national school. For him, he was competing for a national position. And so he felt very bad. Long story short, he goes to Strathmore School. And in 2023, he's among the people who top the country in KCSE. He gets a name of 84. He did 8 subjects, and all of the 8 subjects he got a plain A. And they called him to do medicine. Bro, umesikia stories za Japan? No. The results ziko by wale kwa ile simu. So he gets that, and we are very excited na anaitwa kusoma medicine. He get called to a group of people called the Equity Leaders Program. Si unajua hiyo? Wale there's Wings to Fly, and then the Equity Leaders Program. So I know hapo pia ilikuwa inakanganya. Wings to Fly is those people who are sponsored by Equity. But then again, they are the top student in the country from every school who wanajoin your cohort. Then there are people who come to mentor them on how to apply for universities out there. So I had told this young man, there's no way you can go to study outside Kenya unless, because of something we call the psychosocial support. Some of you who just are joining university, the truth of the matter is that you have not formed enough to take care of yourself and to guard yourself against influence out there. So we recommend that you go to study outside Kenya in your second degree and your master's. But there is a caveat I had given to the young man. I told him, the only way you can go study outside Kenya is if you get yourself to an Ivy League university. How many of you know Ivy League? Ivy League University. I have 500 shillings to give. Yeah? Creases. So Ivy League University is a group of 8 universities in the US.
The best.
The very best.
Yes, 500. That's
The
what
very of course, Ivy League is the best. So the very best universities in the US. And they are very well formed, so they have even what we call the social psycho support. So I tell you, the only way you can go to those universities, you can go to study outside Kenya, is if you get yourself there. But it is extremely competitive. These are which schools? They are schools like University of Pennsylvania, Harvard University, Columbia University, Stanford, Princeton, MIT, hujajua hizo? Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Princeton, Stanford. No, lazima tufikirie. Hata mimi nimetoka Kamwiru. That's why I told you mahali nimetoka. So when naongea hizi vitu mjue, I had to push myself to understand some of these things. So I tell him that is the only way he can go. And so he starts in that Equity Leaders Program. They have people they call mentor. Wanaanza kuwafundisha how to apply for these scholarships. So for him, they were 500. They started at 500 upper sports. And we push, and he applies for Stanford University in what they call early decision. they were rejected. So atukufi moyo. The guy has that competitive spirit I told you. When he was in class in Form 4, the mother even used to come and tell him, go and tell the young man now, at least akuwe anatoka nje, anapiga raundi, alafu arudi, because he's so grilled into the books that we are now getting worried. So the guy believes he can do it, and he started applying. He applied for what they call now the regular decision, which came out in March this year. In March this year, before you apply, you do something called ACT. You have ever heard of ACT? It's an exam that gets you to US. They don't care what you got in KCPE or KCSE. Your standards, they don't care. They give you another test. It is marked out of 1600. So he passes and gets 1480 out of 1600. It's a very good mark. And I paid for him to do that exam. 15,000. But the young man was not content. Remember that competitive spirit I was telling you earlier? Because he's now working in Equity Bank by then, you know the way they give them something to do, he's earning some money. So he goes to the circle and withdraws some money and pays for SAT. I have no idea that he has done that. But he goes and receipts that paper. And he gets 1550 out of 1600. A very, very high score worldwide. So he applies. And in March, he got accepted, not in one, but in 5 top universities in the US. And all of them fully paid scholarship. 60 million shillings a year. Comes even with a flight back to Kenya once every year. This is a school called Amherst University, where Uhuru used to school those who know the history of the Kenyan leader. Howard University is what you call HBCU, historically black universities in the US. A school called University of Pennsylvania, a school called Harvard University, and we settled on Harvard University. So in September this year, he's joining anamaliza exam yake sahi University of Nairobi, first year, aende Harvard. Why am I giving you this story? Is to show you that what people call luck, because watu wengine wanasema ni kuangukia, watu wanaangukia. What you call luck is consistently found at a place of hard work. Are we together? What you will call luck, but it is consistently, more often than not, the people you think are lucky, what you are calling luck, have found them when they are working hard. And as such, today in this school, whatever you do, please make sure that you have given it your best. There are only 2 concepts in this life that we live. You either pay now, enjoy later, or you enjoy now and pay later. By that I mean, if you want an easy life now, you are actually enjoying now to pay later. You know wale wazee unapataka na huku nyumbani, and we have quite a few na huku town, and has given up in life. Amarusha mkono, anasema sijui nini, anatusi tu watu, anasema tu watu wetu hawezi saidia mtu. You see those people? Chances are they enjoyed earlier. Now the way of paying now is to give. And how do you pay earlier? You pay earlier by obeying what you feel like, as opposed to what you believe. When you obey what you feel like, what do you feel like? Kusimama hapo nje ya duka na jamaa wengine hapo mnasema one yap, otherwise mambo. There's nothing, you don't do nothing. The only thing you appreciate is a road trip. The only thing you appreciate is a house party. But there's somebody else when you're doing that. They are deep into these things. Them, they are paying now. But later, they will enjoy. Utakuwa ukimwambia, wewe sasa unaringa na hiyo gari yako kubwa na tulikuwa tunasoma na wewe. Have you heard those stories? It's because in actual sense hatukuwa tunasoma na wewe, ulikuwa hapo nikisoma. There's a difference. Hatukuwa tunasoma na wewe, ulikuwa nikisoma. So I need you to take this thing seriously, because I have no doubt that we have a people, and I also know not everybody here. I'm not delusional. I know there are people here who will really excel in this, but I'm also not delusional. I know not everybody. Is there a possibility that everybody can succeed? Yes. A very high probability. But it is directly proportional to the amount of work you put in. Are we together? And this one you don't do like the high school student, or like, these are the guys. This you do as a matter of survival. Because some of you, kuna watu wametoka nje, si ndio? Kuna watu wametoka high school na wamekaa and they appreciate how hard life is out there. Si ndio? You know, I was telling my son that the reason why I am able to be top of my class today is because I realized it is easier to find the value of X than to find school fees for your kids. It is easier. I'm telling you, if all I need to do is to find the value of X, and my kids will eat and have to sleep and get them, I'll find out the value of all X's in the world. I promise you. And I know those of you who have been outside there, they know. Si ni ukweli? Wale mmekuwa huko nje. It's easier to sit down and look for the Y is equals to MX plus C. It's very easy than when you now go there and have to toil and moil to make sure that you eat and your kids feed. So my vision for you people in this program we are calling Twende Digital na Choma is I have an ambition to create a digital revolution in our country, and it has to start somewhere. And I need you to get this very well. This, my persuasion is, we will not live, our economy will not be like the economy of our mothers and our fathers, where, as the director was saying, they used to have shambas, majani chai. Sasa hivi nikikwambia ukachune majani chai, upeleke ng'ombe sijui kwa msitu, the things that we used to do, it will not make sense to you. The world we are living in has spanned, it has turned like this towards the economy, the digital economy. And so, my persuasion is, in this country today, if we don't want to be left behind, we must appreciate technology. We must appreciate digital space. And so, you people, the reason why I'm so involved in you is because I want you to be the prototype. That Kirinyaga today starts as this place where we are going to generate heat. I tell people, whenever I talk about this, I want you to picture this. We have 100 people today, say in Kirinyaga Central Constituency alone, 100 people who are able to make a living for themselves using the digital economy. They don't have to sumbua their father, their mother, even anything asubuhi when Maria anashika maziwa itatoka wapi. You walk in with milk and bread and all that, and unamwambia pesa yake apeleke chama. You get that? It is possible. So I am looking at 100 people in Kirinyaga Central. They are digitally empowered. Then another 100 people in Mwea, another 100 people in the other place. And before you know it, we have 1,000 people in Kirinyaga County alone that are digitally empowered. Then you move to Embu, you have another 1,000. You move to Muranga, you have another 1,000. You move, before you know it, and these people we are talking about have all one thing in common: digital characteristic. They are young, they are versatile in their brains. So they are able to appreciate the incoming technology. They are also able to create. So we are looking at people who are young and versatile in mind. They are trained in the digital industry. So their mind is receptive to incoming technologies. And so before people from other countries, from China, US, and UK, are coming to sell technology to Kenya, you are able to get that technology and bring it to Kenya. How many of you know of people who have made it big, and I know a number of them, who understood about selling internet and they started spreading internet, selling internet huko kwa vijiji, and they have become rich. So this is what I'm talking about. That era of selling that internet is gone. But believe you me, with the digital economy, something else is coming. When your mind is sharp enough to appreciate the digital space, you'll be able to look around. What is happening in China? What is happening in Europe? What is happening in UK? You know, in Kenya, we are consumer economy. You know that you can leverage on importation of that technology, and then you use it here to empower your people and also make a living. Do you see where I'm coming from? Yes. I don't want you to be enlightened on digital economy for the sake of it. I want you to be enlightened so that you can create something in this country. And so this is why I'm saying, if we have 1,000 people, let me use like central Kenya, for instance. We have traditionally 5 counties, the 5 districts that we used to have in central Kenya. And you see, Kirinyaga, Nyeri, Murang'a, Nyandarua, and Nyeri is Kiambu. Those 5 that used to form the central province. And you have 5,000 young people who are digitally empowered. And all of them are creating something. In physics is what we call ionists. What do you call them? What do you call those particles? Atoms. Now you have ionized atoms. What are you likely to have? An explosion. Now this will be an explosion of a digital economy. I don't know how in this country we cannot appreciate that as a people or as leadership or as people in the villages who God has given some ability to see. From where I sit, I am seeing an explosion, a digital explosion that will make sure that our young people, you, have an ability to appreciate what is out there and also uplift the lives of the people that you're living in. You are living with. Your fathers, your mothers, and the people that you're living in will be beneficiary of your ability to appreciate and interpret the digital revolution that is happening there. You'll go out there, fish technology, apply it in Kenya, you'll be able to create things and make money, make a living out of it. We can export. We may not be able to export today motor vehicles, but we can import technology. We can work in the digital space and export human capital, human labor, our prowess in understanding the digital world, and we'll earn what you call the remittances from the diaspora. We'll be able to earn the forex from the diaspora. We'll grow our economy if we appreciate the digital economy. Are we together? Mm-hmm. And so, I have not sponsored this program for the sake of it. It is not just another thing. Whatever you do, you must benefit from this. And I want you to be the prototype. Why do I want you to be the prototype? Because I want you, from here, I am making you. You know the way Jesus collected the 12 and made them. And out of the 12, today we have a religion that is probably about 3 billion, if not 4 billion people on the face of the earth. Christianity. Digital. I want us to form a digital religion. A digital religion. It may start here, certitude. But its tentacles will spread across this country. And it will be so big that one day we will thank God for this day. And you have on your shoulders, upon your shoulders, you have the responsibility to see this through. Are we together?
Yes.
Do you see the kind of responsibility that you have? When we are done here, you must be the ambassadors. We will create programs that will have you move around and train others so that they can become what you have become. And by so doing, we will help everybody that is willing to be helped. Because in Kikuyu we say, Didekueke, Emabo. Najiweke. That level of Kikuyu, you understand. I will not do God deeper. So I thank you for listening to me and appreciating. I hope now we are on the same page. You understand why we are doing what we are doing. And I must appreciate the school. I must appreciate your director. I must appreciate the dean and the everybody that is you are working with to make sure that you are part and parcel of this story. Because believe you me, one day you'll meet with these young people here. You'll meet with them in Cape Town. You'll meet with them in New York. You will meet in Australia, and you'll be seated somewhere. And I will be seated in Canberra, Australia, and somebody tells me my bill has been paid, and I will be asking how. And then somebody from that corner waves me and tells me digital revolution. It is possible. It is possible to meet you there. It is possible to have you in Geneva because of this. Okay? But we must first start by believing that we are no lesser, we are equal to the task. Are we together? And let nobody, please, let nobody tell you you cannot. You can. And if they ask you why, because Chomba said so. Okay? You see me? Even in an example, I am not poor. Are we together? I am not. The way you give an example at Isai ukafilisika. You don't do that to me. No. Even in that example, I am not. Wewe sema mtu akafilisika. Hii ukagongwa na gari. Nani? Wewe sema mtu akagongwa na gari. Are you getting me? Because your words create. Don't appreciate people and don't join up in vain conversations. As I told you, sometimes we poison our future by the kind of conversations that we engage in. When you find somebody mudslinging, don't join. Wewe ongea kitu yenye iko na maana. I know our sisters and I know sometimes we call it mushane. Siku hizi hata sisi tunasikia, especially kwa social media. But if you cannot verify a story, do not be caught championing them. They poison you. You'll find that those people who are successful, including women leaders who are successful, they have one thing in common. They are not into these debates. Because why? A lion will never eat grass. It doesn't matter the economy of the jungle. Hata kukue ni kubaya aje. Ni vigumu sana hati ukue the complaint you are finding is that your neighbor's lion imekula sukuma yako. Hapana, it will always be a goat. It will always be a sheep. No, ilikula sukuma zako. Are we together? So who are you? If you believe you are lion, you know your space. Utangojea mpaka nyama ipatikane ndio ukule. Are we together?
Yes.
And for me, I want you to eat this meat of the digital revolution. Appreciate it, and it will make you. Are we together? God bless you. I really appreciate that you are in a space to appreciate what is happening. Thank you.
Wow. Are you people ready? Mko tayari? Tunaweka hivi, tunasema the lion, the champion,
The conqueror.
the conqueror. Ako wapi?
Yeah.
Kwani nyinyi hamwamini maneno? The lion, the champion, the conqueror. Takes you. Take that to the bank. And withdraw. Make sure I be close to you as you make the withdrawal. Yeah, so I believe we've been charged. Such words are rare. Okay? Such people are also very rare. People who are coming with an intention of just telling you the truth. Because the truth does what?
Sets you free.
Sets you free. Sindio? We are talking of a cage. We are currently caged, especially in what we call the African mentality. A mentality of survival. A mentality of not believing that these things have been given to us freely. Okay? Yes. These things belong to us. I also share in the same perspective with Yoshimio that it is not practically possible for me to be poor. It is not practically possible. I don't know even there is none that exists. It is not practically possible. Why? Because I am here for a purpose and I didn't just pop in. Okay?
Yes.
There's something for me and so for you. Hello? Yeah, so what we are here to launch and introduce to the world is what we are calling Twende Digital na Chomba. Hello? Yes. As we Digital Training Center, our objective is one, to make sure that we get a digitally literate young people for our nation.
Yes.
Are we together?
Yes.
That is simply evil. We are getting a digitally literate people for our nation. And he has told us something very good about building value for yourself. Okay?
Yes.
I'm a fond person of saying that the illiterate of the 21st century are no longer them that cannot read and write. Okay?
Yes.
But them that are not willing to, number one, learn, number two, unlearn, and number three, relearn. Hello? So we are in a place of even unlearning some of these things, like when Mheshimiwa anasema, we knew that waking up at 5 is early. Today, even we are shifting our working hours. I can be sleeping at 5 and I'm still working. Are we together?
Yes.
And also challenging some of the stereotypes that we have around, like freelancing. Ati mimi nilikosa kazi, mimi nakuanga freelancer. No, freelancing is a type of work. We have professional freelancers because we are a generation that appreciates work life. Are we together? Yeah. Whatever he's calling the gig economy, the concept behind it is what we call freelancing. Are we together? That is why you know how to relate with clients, retain clients, and do your rate cards, budget, manage your work. Are we together? We said you are the business. You are the individual. We are no longer training you to be employed, but training you first to employ yourself and create opportunities for others. I don't think I can talk much after what we have just been told. Yours is just to take that to the bank, make sure you are transformed, okay? Through the renewal of your heart. Hello. Yeah, I know we've consumed a lot, so we are saying that the campaign we are running today, moving forward, is Twende Digital na nani? Na Chomba. And I said his kind is rare. Seeing a person who is willing to use his resources to empower people without a return. Ama kuna mtu ameambiwa wewe nitakusponsor lakini na ukimaliza you are working for me for 3 years. Kunaye maybe mimi sijapata hiyo information. So there is none. Then such people are rare. And the much you can pay them, the much you can pay them is by becoming that which they envisioned you to be. Hello? Yeah. Pay them by becoming. That will motivate him to do it more and more to other people. Okay?
Yeah.
But what if after 3 months we don't have anybody to show that this person has been transformed? Will he be motivated to do the same for other young people? No. So we know we have been charged and we have a responsibility. And by being prototypes, as you've been told, our responsibility is to create now opportunities for others by first becoming. We will be using you as now the examples. When we come to your place, we'll be saying we have Maya who has been transformed. And if you want to be like Maya, this is the space to be. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is among the many projects that we'll be doing now moving forward. So Honorable Chomba has been doing what we call TV commentary in the socio-economic space and politics. But we are also building, as the digital creators we are also building another brand around him. Chomba Wadi? Are we together? Yes. Because he's willing and he's ready to be a digital champion as we are. One of our rules is we must support our own. And I was telling him the other day how I wish he comes from my area. Sikia mwingine wakweli wamesema haki. Sema mitomwea. How I wish ni wakwe. So nyinyi wenye ni wakwenu, let me not overemphasize, okay? But we know we have a responsibility. Gen Zs, when you remember last year when we were doing our mandamanos, one of the things we were promoting is accountable leadership. Are we together? Yes. That is a story for another day, but no, there is some where we are going, okay? So today we are saying to the digital now. To the digital now. Yes, that is what we are saying. Now moving forward, okay? Yes. If one is ready to support, to stand with us, we cannot sit down. We are also standing with fully. Sindio? Yes. And we are going to utilize all we have and all we know best, and also research to get better, so that this mission can be accomplished. Hello? Hello. Are we together in this? Yeah, so I know we have been seated for a very long time, and I want us to close at this particular point, but allow me to say this, that now moving forward, as we have always been, we are not trainees, okay? There's a school, a while back I used to be in the tourism industry. There's a school I took to Arusha, and there, when I was being introduced to the students, the teacher called me and he did an introduction and told me that don't address these people as students. These are leaders. Okay? So when you want to gather them, you don't say, students, come here, no. You say, leaders. And now, how we get a problem, like when they are getting from the bus, mobilizing them. The problem with that school is now telling them now this is a trip, you people can be scattered. For them, they don't know that. They know leaders come together, leaders do things. Are we together? Now for us, we are co-workers. Sisi tunafanya kazi pamoja. Chenye tumekubaliana ni yetu sisi wo? Yes. So that is what we are doing. We'll be now launching in huko chini sasa. Tukishuka mlima, that is the work we will be doing, okay? We'll be inspiring digital champions through Twende Digital na Chomba initiative. Are we together? And we'll be doing it many times. We'll have various programs, and you people will be the people we'll be using down there. Hello? Hello. Yes, so allow me to appreciate you, sir, even for standing with my generation. It's rare. Most of them that are of your generation, when we approach them, they rarely understand even what we mean. But when we have leaders, when we have digital champions who are understanding the season and the time we are in, and not just understanding, but being ready to support the core, I mean, that is a blessing. So thank you so much, even for allowing yourself to be used. Yes. Sir, thank you for gracing this big event. The next time we'll be in our school, we'll be having what we call tunaita nini ile inafanyiwa graduation. Yes. You'll also be there even that day. But for today, this is our podium, and we are very happy that
let me just give an interactive picture.
Yes.
So when he says that we are going to be having to be with you out there, this program that we are trying to formulate, we are actually not trying, we are formulating. It's about having caravans in the rural of the places that we come from, so that we are able to inspire others. When you guys have learned what you've learned, you are the people, as many as would be willing, be in that caravan, so that when we go out there, we are able to train others every so often, okay? Mm-hmm. That is where you also hone your skills of being also a trainer, inspiring others. So we say like, say for instance, we say we are going to retain here, and we have a caravan, and we call in to the halls like 500 young people, and we have a seminar with them there, and we have the whole day. We train them on what it is to do digital, all these programs that they are there. We may not manage to sponsor all of them to school, and that's why we said you guys, God has favored you for the reasons He knows, and we just hope that you align. But we are trusting God that you also be able to pay it forward. We go out there and you're able to train somebody else on this kind of economy. You inspire them and you let them appreciate that they also can be something out of this. Are we together? Isn't it something that you may want to be part and parcel of? That even in your CV, it goes into your CV that these are the things that you've done. Especially when you're applying for opportunities out there, they're no longer looking for just your academic prowess. They want to know what else have you done. And this comes in handy. It could be also part and parcel of your practicals. Okay? Yeah, so for me, that is what I'm looking. So that we birth an evolution that creates the kind of explosion I was talking about.
Now you heard it from the horses. Yes. Amazing, amazing. So I'll invite you back, sir, so that you conclude for us the meeting. And for the 12 prototypes from Mheshimiwa, we'll have a brief meeting at the computer lab. So don't leave immediately. Yeah? Yes.
And for others, before they go, we take a photo. I would love to take a photo.
We do a group photo here. Okay. Bran is going to guide us through that, and tubarikiwe sana. We continue interacting and building each other. Have a wonderful time. Welcome.
You can appreciate our director in a better way, guys. Thank you. Well. I mean, I'm challenged. I'm moved. A lot of energy has been pumped into my spirit. See, there are meetings you attend, there are conversations you engage in, and you feel a certain energy has been pumped into your spirit. An energy that is able to make you, see days and days that you have not seen before. An energy that is able to make you see a future you have not seen before. And you see the conversation we just finished is, it has brought an enlightenment. See, you see, we don't see because we have eyes, but we see because light has been shed in our eyes. Is that true? We are seeing because there is light in this room, but not because we have eyes. And the truth that sets us free is the truth that we know. It's not, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. But it's not a truth that you don't know. So there is an opening that has happened in our eyes. There is a truth that has been presented to us in a way we have not seen it before. And we can only be grateful, sir. And we can only be grateful for that. And I'm feeling goosebumps all over my body. And Pastor here mentioned goosebumps. And I've also experienced them. Courtesy of an energy pumped conversation. And so we are so much grateful. And you can be sure we would fail. Yeah, our hands are on this. And our mind is on this. We are hoping this becomes our life. And we are doing it as a lifetime thing. It's not like a by the way. Gone are the days when we will just try things here and then. This one, no, we are sure it's going to work. This one must work by all means possible. And I was enjoying him as he was talking about revolutions that have happened, fast movers advantage, how Steve Jobs and all these guys, Microsoft, took advantage of this conversation and it was beginning. And I was expecting you guys to shake your head because this is what we've been covering all along. It's about the revolutions that have happened, about the advantage that we are having because we are, and the people that are getting into the digital space when it's still so young. It's something we are resonating with. And his coming has actually validated and understand that for sure this thing is not just with a few people, but there are people that have caught it and they are running with it. And the fact that he has sponsored to be here, it just means that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm sure we'll benefit from it. And director has, through his permission, we are about to take a soda together, all of us, courtesy of Mheshimiwa. Mheshimiwa has visited us, and because he has visited, we must take a soda together. Yes, and so we will be doing that immediately after this. And someone has 3-star home, take a soda, all of us, courtesy of Mheshimiwa. And so we'll be taking it, and I know as we'll be taking photos, we'll take it when we'll be together. And so from here, nothing more, just a photo session together, and it should be amazing. But I want to request Pastor Dan to come and close that moment for us with a word of prayer. Yes, tuambie Mungu ni asante for that thing. And because we are a God-believing institution, we believe in deity. And so welcome so much, Pastor Dan, and conclude the meeting for us with a word of prayer.
Shall we pray? Father, we thank you for this amazing time we have prayed, that Lord, you will yet again stir our spirits, and indeed our spirits are stirred. Thank you for the leadership of this institution. Thank you even for our guests. We pray that Lord, you may continue to bless them, even as we continue engaging in this proactive engagement. I pray that Lord, you will continue to bless this great team of leaders that are being birthed and co-workers that are being birthed in this institution. We bless your name and we give you glory. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Wow, thank you. Let's appreciate Pastor Dan. Thank you. So at this point, we'll be having photo sessions, and I will request someone to tell Sam to bring the soldiers here, so that when we'll be taking a group photos, all of us will be doing cheers, right? Is that okay? Nice, that's great. So someone can help me in calling someone here to put in hizo soldiers hapo chini. But before that, now we as soldiers will be coming, I want us to first of all get some executive photos. So I will be requesting Mheshimiwa together with director to take a first photo. So we just watch them as we wait for soldiers, and then tutaingia sisi wote pamoja sisi hapo. So we request the first photo to be taken that is for director and Mheshimiwa.
Kuna vile. Inaweza.
Nice, that's okay. So I also to request the visit that came along with Mheshimiwa, and also yes, sir, you can join in for this one. You can come in and join in for, but before that, the three of them, and then him, and then you come to the institution there. So let me request him to do the honors, because he also accompanied Mheshimiwa. It's good that he also appears in
He's a digital worker.
Yeah, he's a digital champion also. Yeah, okay, thank you. So from there.